This is my match footage for the West End Gun Club 3-gun match held on May 28th, 2022. We start off with stage 1. For the stage, shooters not in the 3-gun division must shoot the whole stage with a pistol. The shooters must engage either the paper or steel targets first, then proceed to engage the targets they had not eliminated. One of the steel knockdowns was not reset correctly, causing some confusion. As you can see, I dump rounds into the target in question instead of just moving on with the stage. Right here, a bit of shrapnel comes back and hits me right below the eye. This causes me to get flustered and forget the entirety of my stage plan, including a reload and one of the paper targets that was hiding behind a barrel. On the side view, you can actually see the RO point out the target that I missed. Overall, due to the poor stage planning and a failure to engage, I placed 28th out of 40 shooters with 54.18% of the winner's score. Stage 2 begins with the shooter engaging some steel and paper with their handgun. The USPSA torsos and IPSC turtles right in front of the shooter must be engaged with pistol, while the rest of the IPSC turtles must be engaged with rifle from their corresponding openings. During stage planning, I had planned a reload here, but failed to do so as I had adrenaline running through my system. This was the first stage of the day. The Texas Star could have been handled better, but considering my pistol shooting at previous matches, I count this as an improvement. I should have engaged the target on the right first. That would have made my exit from the shooting position much smoother. Right here, I overshoot my target just a bit. Reviewing this footage, it's painfully obvious that my footwork in general needs quite a bit of work. Even with some of my mistakes, I managed to score 13th out of 40 shooters, with 76.45% of the winner's score. Stage 3 on the surface is a very simple stage, 6 paper targets with no shoots underneath, 2 rifle steel, and a spinner. I managed to clear most of the targets. Sadly, on the right-hand array, I ended up shooting one of the no-shoots once. As soon as I'm finished with the paper array, I reload to my 62 grain magazine to engage the spinner. As simple as the stage was, it highlighted some deficiencies in skill. A majority of my time spent on the stage was trying my best to spin the spinner. There are a number of times here where I triple tap or even quadruple tap the target when I should have just taken my time, taken a deep breath, and maybe single or double tap the targets instead.
Oh, come on!
I proceed to reload here, and you can hear one of the RSOs mention that I should slow down and breathe.
Slow down and breathe.
After the fact, I had a chance to review this stage with a few of the better shooters on the stage. I was notified that it may have been better for me to just take the 60-second penalty for just engaging but not spinning the spinner, instead of spending all the time I did trying to spin the spinner.
Oh, come on.
We're almost to the end here. I finally started to relax, taking my breaths, starting to take single shots, and actually managed to finally, at the end, spin the spinner.
Over.
Well, this is it for the rifle portion. This is not it for the entire stage. We will now be moving over to the footage of my second portion of the stage and a secondary attempt at the second portion of the stage. The second portion of the stage is also very simple. A set of pistol arrays and the same spinner. The shooter must spin the spinner and engage the full pistol array. It does not matter in what order the shooter does this. Just like the rifle array, you can see that I get fairly flustered here and drop a lot of shots that I really should not have dropped.
Over. Told you.
The reason I needed to redo the stage
Pistols
was
I can
because
do,
the
rifles
RO
suck.
had accidentally hit the timer once again.
You can read the last one. Here, hold on. I think it was 23.
My second attempt goes much smoother. I relax and land more of my double taps on the spinner and manage to spin the spinner before engaging my final target. There's a lot of time spent waiting for the spinner to present itself. It's optimal to engage the other targets available in an array.
Over. Woo. Way better. Way better, dude.
Though my pistol portion was very smooth and well done, due to my abysmal score on the rifle portion, I landed 26th out of 40 shooters, with 33.79% of the winner's score. An interesting bit about the stage was the shooter that placed 25th exactly received 50 rounds of 9mm from the match director. If I did not hit the no-shoot, yours truly would have been 50 rounds richer.
Yep.
Stage 4 begins with 3 rifle steel that must be engaged from the first shooting box. Once the steel is engaged, the shooter moves to the next shooting area and engages all of the IPSC turtles before dumping the rifle and engaging all of the steel and USPSA torsos with their handgun.
Oop.
A note on the pistol portion, both this match and Lessa count a single shot in the A zone, an elimination. As I was getting a bit low on ammo, I started taking more surgical shots at the USPSA targets. Another bit of failing to follow the stage plan occurs here. I meant to reload before moving to the final shooting box and engaging the final steel targets.
Shit.
While portions of the stage could have been cleaned up, I managed to make it to 12th out of 40 shooters with 72.53% of the winner's score. Our last stage involves reaching out. The shooter begins engaging the USPSA torsos and the steel at 50 yards. The shooting order of this does not matter. Here I overshoot the targets just a little bit, thinking that I didn't engage them properly. Once the shooter is done, they transition to rifle and engage the IPSC turtles before moving to a separate shooting area. Right there, I thought there was an extra target, but there was not. From their new shooting position, the shooter must engage a total of 5 rifle steel before moving to another position and be engaging the same steel. 2 steel are at 100 yards, 1 steel is at 50 yards, 2 steel are at 200 yards. I'm having some difficulty here hitting the target because of the overcast day and the gray target on a gray background. I use my magazine here as a monopod to give myself a little bit more height to engage out those targets at 200 yards. I make a major mistake here by engaging the targets from a standing position. I should have taken a knee just like I did in my initial shooting position. I send more rounds than I really should have at the 100-yard target and the 50-yard target because of my standing position. Realizing my error, I take a knee for the 200-yard shots. Sadly, I was not able to make contact with my last round and need to conduct a reload. And finally, with my third round, I managed to contact the last piece of steel. Again, like stage 4, further work could have been done to shoot the stage better. Regardless, I still landed in the top 20 at 19 out of 40 shooters with 58.64% of the winner's score. Overall, I was right in the middle at 20th out of 40 shooters with 63.47% of the winner's score.